Joining us now is Suresh Rohira of Thornton. Suresh, appreciate you joining us. So total collection under the GST for the month of December at 80,808 crores. The GST Council representative from the state of Goa saying that this was somewhat expected because of the rationalization of rates that had taken place. They're hoping that this number will look much better in January because the e-way bill mechanism will roll out. What's your own take and what do you make of this number?
Well, my first reaction is that certainly there will be an improvement in this number in the days to come. And that's clearly because while the rationalization has happened, there were certain trades or purchases which were staggered over a period of time because of the change in the rate. So we would certainly see a revised number in the months to come. However, while the government is working on that along with the e-way bill, I feel looking at the experiences which a lot of companies have had in terms of their compliances, I think they should be mindful this time to ensure that the e-way bill processes are properly in place. Otherwise, once again, it will give the same feeler as before. So that's something which they have to keep in mind.
So again, I'm going back to the conversation that I just had with Movin Godino of Goa, and he seems very confident that e-way bill will roll out as per the expectations the government has, and it should plug the leakages. But what is the feedback that you're getting, Suresh, on the ground about the readiness to move to the e-way bill mechanism in January?
Well, as we know that many states have already started and therefore companies are getting prepared. However, a lot of companies are skeptical in terms of the preparedness because as we know, initially there were a lot of teething problems in terms of filing returns, and we saw dates getting staggered every now and then eventually it was given a deadline of December and March. So companies are now looking forward to a clear direction where they know whether it is really happening in Jan and Feb, or if there is going to be again a staggering, then they should be given enough time because somewhere it has left a little bitter taste in terms of preparedness on GST.
Yes, that it certainly has, but Suresh, this is the lowest that we've seen since the rollout of the goods and services tax. The run rate so far has been between 90 and 95,000 crores. At 80,808 crores, the government's math is going to be a cause for concern, wouldn't you say?
Yes, indeed, I agree, and therefore, what the sense which we are getting is that probably the government would watch it for couple of months, and eventually if you were to look at the numbers of indirect tax collections, last year's number, they were around 8.64 lakh crores, and what they are wanting to achieve is about 10 lakh crores or 11 lakh crores. So there would be some rationalization in terms of products going forward, and that's the feeler which we are getting, because eventually the agenda of GST was to attain a wider tax base with more revenue collection.
Yeah.
So that's something which you would certainly see in the days to come.
Suresh,
and the
just hang in there. We also got Prateek Jain, leader of indirect tax. Right, I'll just come back to you. Prateek, leader of indirect tax at PwC, also with us. Prateek, sorry for pulling all of you out of your holidays, but 80,808 crores, that's the number till December 25th. Your first reaction concerning?
Yes, so unexpected lines, I would say, because 15 November, as you're aware, the government reduced the rate of tax on many items. And also the exports really, the refund for exporters really started seriously in October, November. So that also has to be taken into account. And I would suspect that even for December, the collection would be lower because, for filing the Tran 1, which was your, statement for opening credit, the last date is 27th of December. So a lot of businesses would have claimed the credit for in the month of December. So I would suspect that this 80 or around that 80,000 crore or so will be the collection for December as well. So yes, it is a concern, but not entirely unexpected, I would say.
Okay, not entirely unexpected. Do you believe that this number is going to look very different? I mean, it is likely to improve significantly because of the e-way bill rollout, because that's the view of the GST Council. We just spoke with one of the members, Movin Udino of the state of Goa, and he said it will look very different in January because of the e-way bill rollout.
I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't think that e-way bill really will dramatically increase the compliances. We don't think that e-way bill is a good idea. But let's see. I mean, I think the GST Council is quite confident that after e-way bill rollout, compliances would improve. And, does that mean that the level of checking, etc., at the border would be much more rigorous than what it is right now? One will have to see that. But I don't personally believe that e-way bill really would lead to a dramatic rise in revenue collection. I don't think that will happen.
So the next GST Council meeting is slated for the 18th of January. There's an officers meeting on the 11th of January. The expectation was that even in the next meeting, we could see further rate rationalization. Would you still believe that that will be the case, Prateek? Or do you believe that they will now wait to see this number stabilize before going in for any further rationalization, unless they're correcting an anomaly?
I think it's unlikely.
It's unlikely. Suresh?
They will further rationalize that. It's very unlikely at this point in time.
Okay. Very unlikely. Suresh, would you agree that it would be unlikely that we are going to see any significant rate rationalization on the 19th of January, which incidentally is likely to be the last meeting of the GST Council ahead of the Union Budget on the 1st of February?
Yeah, truly so, because one is they can't tinker with the rates every now and then, because that's the feeling which has circulated in the market. And over and above, they have to be mindful that if they were to do this, then it will be a question mark on their reputation in terms of the initial thought process of the baskets of rates. And secondly, probably I feel that they would leave something even during the budget time, as they may want to roll out few things during budget. So I agree that there may not be a significant change in the next council meeting.
All right, gentlemen, appreciate you joining us on your holidays, and here's wishing the two of you a very happy 2018. Thanks very much for joining us on the program. Aditi Nair also with us. Thanks very much. We're stuck in the studio, unfortunately. Aditi, thanks very much for joining us. Your first comment